Hey everyone, welcome back to Shade Review. In today's video, we are reviewing the brand new folding Persol 3345 sunglasses. But first, I'll thank today's video sponsor, our own website, shadereviewstore.com, the absolute best place to buy designer sunglasses, up to 80% off the original MSRP. Again, our website there is shadereviewstore.com. Check it out. So let's go ahead and unfold these frames and put them on face and talk about the dimensions. So here we can see it does not take long at all to unfold the frames, and of course it doesn't take long to fold the frames either. And these frames do come in a nice folding case, which is small and compact, and you can easily fit in your top pocket or maybe even your pocket here. And the dimensions here are a good standard size with 54mm lenses and a 21mm bridge. Now Persol does not produce these frames in a smaller or a larger lens size. You're going to be stuck here with the 54mm lens size that I have on in today's video. But with that being said, this is a really good standard size that's going to fit most people's faces best. And these frames of course feature Persol's Moflecto stem system, so they're going to bend out and give a custom fit to the face and hug it really nicely as well. And these frames are of course made out of an acetate material, so they are very easy to heat up and adjust, and they do have a metal stem that runs through the temples of the frames, so you can easily make these frames fit a more narrow face or a larger face with just a couple seconds of work there. Now as far as the exact colorway that I have on today's video, these frames have Persol's Terra de Sienna frames. They're absolutely beautiful acetate frame, looks really nice, and I love the way these frames really pop when wearing them outdoors. And then that frame colorway paired with these beautiful crystal blue lenses are really nice. These are a category 2 lens, so they're going to be good for bright days, but not extremely bright and harsh sunny days. But you can also definitely wear these frames indoors as well, because again, they are a category 2 lens, so you can see my eyes kind of behind the lens if the light isn't catching the lens at a certain angle, which of course cloud that. Now, what's really cool about these frames is they basically are a kind of more squared off version of the classic Persol 714 folding frames, but they just look a little bit different here with the lenses, but they are very similar as far as the construction goes. Now, as far as weight goes, these frames come in at 39 grams, so they definitely are a very heavy pair of frames, but of course, the fact that you can easily fold them up and put them in your pocket to give your nose and your ears a little bit of relief is very nice, so that definitely helps kind of counteract the heavy weight of the frames. But there is also something that's really nice about just holding a very solid and substantial pair of frames made out of acetate with all glass lenses. Personally, I don't have a problem with these frames being as heavy as they are, but you're definitely going to feel some discomfort if you wear these frames for a long period of time. Now, these frames are actually a little bit lighter than the classic Persol 714. Those frames are going to come in at 43 grams, so I really don't know where the weight savings is with these frames. Maybe the tops are a little bit thinner than the 714, but either way, I'll take a more lightweight frame. That is nice that they were able to shave a little bit of weight off of it. I'm sure it mostly has to do with just the lens size. It's probably a little bit less lens here than on the 714. Now, as far as the styling of these frames goes, I really do love these squared off styling. They look really good, and I think a long time ago, Persol actually did produce a pair of frames very similar to these, but they are very rare and very hard to get a hold of, so it's really nice that you can now easily just buy one right off the shelf, and you don't have to go through the process of spending thousands of dollars on a vintage pair of Persol Ratti frames. So here, if we take a look at the top corners of the frames, we can see, of course, there is a Persol Supreme arrow here in the top corners of the frames. And then we can also see that Persol reinforced the bridge here with 2 pieces of metal, which is really good as well for the longevity. Then moving down, we can see the 2 barrels of the Persol Moflecto stem system. And then we can also see the little metal hardware that allows the sunglasses to fold in. So here, the folding mechanism is going to fold down just like this, and they're going to also pop in. So it's a really good feel. I don't know if you can hear that, but it feels really good, and it's going to pop in very nicely, but it's going to fold in there, and then the other temple is going to fold in the exact same way, and then they're going to fold in all the way to the lenses. Now, parts of the metal folding mechanism are actually going to make contact with the lens there, and over time it's going to kind of scratch the lens and definitely kind of remove the anti-reflective material that's found on both the left and the right. So you definitely want to be careful with how hard you kind of handle these frames and kind of what you do when you fold them up, you kind of protect them because they will scratch the lens very slowly. It is a crystal lens, which is going to prevent scratching very easily, but over time it's going to do a lot of wear, especially to the really nice anti-reflective material, but it's really not in the line of sight anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. But if you're kind of OCD when it comes to frames, you might have an issue with that a couple years from now. But you can see that really nice anti-reflective material there on the back side of the lens that I'm talking about. Now, as far as the actual hinges of these frames go, they have very, very nice and premium 5-barrel all-metal hinges, and they're absolutely massive, and they feel really, really good when open up the frames, and when close them, just very, very nice and substantial. They're not going to break easily at all, and they're also connected to the Persol Supreme Arrow, which adds rigidity to this whole entire setup here. Now, if we take a look here at the inner right temple of the frames, we can see they say Persol, handmade in Italy. And then here in the inner left temple of the frame, we can see there's that core code information. And then here in the outside right ear rest of the frame, we can see a little metallic Persol logo there for authentication purposes as well. Now, as far as lenses go, these frames have very nice and premium all crystal glass lenses. The optical clarity is really, really good. They're also going to block 100% of UVA and UVB rays as well, which is extremely important for your eye health. And these frames do come with polarized and non-polarized lens options as well. Now, as far as coverage from the sun goes, these frames are not going to offer the best coverage from the sun. So here up top, we can see a pretty big gap to let sunlight in unprotected. And then here on the side, again, we can see a pretty massive gap that unfortunately does let sunlight in unprotected. So not the most practical pair of frames as far as coverage goes. And I would say they actually have a little bit worse coverage than the classic Persol 714 because these have more squared off lenses, where the 714 has more of a pilot shaped lens to it. Now, probably my biggest complaint with Persol's folding frames is the top ridge is going to slowly over time kind of get loose. No matter what you do, it's always going to get a little bit loose. Even if you tighten them up really, really nice and snug right from the factory, they're going to kind of back out just a little bit over time, and it's going to kind of get loose. I'm not sure if it's the screw backing out or if it's the acetate kind of getting worn down over time, but either way, you're going to get a little bit of a flex to them, and that's kind of annoying, having that little bit of flex. But that's just something that's going to happen with a pair of sunglasses that actually have the acetate notched out like this. Persol actually did create an all metal bridge in a couple of their folding variants, which doesn't have that problem. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out that. But it just doesn't offer the same kind of classic acetate style as the 714 or of course these frames do. So definitely some pros and some cons there. Overall, I think it's an absolutely fantastic and beautiful looking pair of frames. They're definitely going straight into my collection. This is definitely the pair that I'm probably going to wear most, and I really, really do like these. I've always loved the Persol 714. It's one of my favorite pair of sunglasses ever, and these frames offering the same kind of styling but with more squared off lenses and a little bit of a more modern, or I should say novel look to them is definitely a really big win for me. Now, as far as pricing goes, these frames are going to run you $426 of non-polarized lenses, and we do have these available on our website for a little bit off the original MSRP, so make sure to check out Persol's website for all the different colorways, and my website as well, where we have a couple colorways in stock. But that's all I got for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give me a big thumbs up down below, and of course, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and then you'll be notified every single time I upload a brand new video, just like this one, to our YouTube channel. Again, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.